Yeah, hello, all. Good evening. Actually, I am Karan Ganesan, who actually I'm having some 8+ years of experience in Azure IoT, and I have been actually working as a senior engineer in L&T Infotech in Azure IoT part. Actually, I hope so. My screen is visible to all. Actually, yeah. Today, actually, we are going to see uh, the what are the services can be lived from the IoT side can be yeah are actually present in Azure. And in this session, actually, we are going to see how this IoT services can be leveraged into our IoT architecture, and also yeah, we are going to see a small hands-on session as well. Yeah, how to pass this telemetry data from IoT hub to various IoT services. Um, okay, and then actually we are actually uh, uh, are going to see some series of workshops or sessions based off Azure IoT in this in the upcoming days. Yeah, so that actually it will be easy for the viewers actually uh, to make themselves ready for AZ220 young Azure IoT certification as well actually. So I hope so actually uh, 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 yeah, this question is might be I hope so actually this question will be interesting for the beginners as well, and for the experienced persons who wants to learn about the Azure IoT services in yeah, services actually. Okay, let's go into our topic actually. That yeah, yeah. Before we jumping into our yeah, before we are actually jumping into our this to know about in IoT services in Azure actually. Yeah, first we are going to see uh, what is meant by the Internet of Things actually. What is meant by IoT actually? Okay, yeah, because this is the very much interested word which is a buzzing around the tech world now actually. So actually, I hope so. Uh, I hope so. Actually, the most of the people here knows about what is the IoT like that actually. But if you see in real life actually, what is meant IoT means actually, it is a network of internet connected devices that communicate embedded sensor data to the cloud for centralized processing actually. Okay, if you see in this IoT based data processing actually, if you see data can be sent from your device side to the cloud or to any data sources, and from the cloud side or from any data sources the message can be sent to your device as well. Yeah, it's a kind of a device to cloud and cloud to device uh, uh, the communication. It's a kind of bi-direction communication can happen with the things which are present in this IoT ecosystem actually. Okay. In simple words, if you see, IoT is nothing but actually a series of devices which are connected over the internet to send or receive the data among themselves, and that data also will be used for some data processing purposes by the organizations for some good extended uh, the futures for the future support actually. Okay, and then if you see what does this IoT gives for your consumers and the businesses actually. Yeah, if you see actually for in the device characteristics actually. The device can be connected to the internet, and it can also make the connected to the internet, and we need to make sure that our devices are following a strict security based strict security based protocols which needs to be followed to connect to the internet. And we also need to be assured that that smart features has to be enabled in my devices uh, to feed to perform some high quality works like in AI at the edge, etc. And then actually it should have a it should have some good communicate you the device must first follow many of the communicative protocols like MQTT, AMQP, Bluetooth, etc. like that actually. And your device might be configurable and programmable so that you can customize what kind of telemetry data can be accessed from your devices or from the assets actually, and which device and which data has to be sent to the cloud as well actually. Okay, now if you see from the consumer versus business implementation point of view, the goal, yeah, what is the intention and goal of the particular organization from the business point of view is actually it should send the data. It can collect the data from their machines to some sensors, and it can send the data to the cloud for some futuristic processing. But actually if you see, if I'm say send my data for some data analytics, means what is the profit I can get from it, means actually I can make a predictive maintenance model, and then I can also check actually what is the state of my machine, and also actually I can check the some parameters of treatment like lifetime, and then actually when my maintenance might occur like that and all actually. So from the consumer versus the business implementation point of view, um, these points has been numbered by from the organization uh, point of view as well actually. Okay, and then actually if you see there are some yeah there are some and yeah, there are some strategies for implementing IoT. And if you have and if you see that actually, and the implementer who's going to implement this IoT solution in a particular organization will have process consideration, and he should have also um, consider about the design of that particular shop floor or factory or the particular asset actually. Okay, and if you see the in the process consideration, um, you should see in case if I implement this IoT use case in my particular shop floor or a particular asset, what is the short term and long term goals I can plan, and also how these goals has to be phased in that a particular approach actually. From the design consideration point of view, if you see, yeah, I need to follow what is the technical strategy, architectural approach, solution governance, and team members and other resources we have actually for this particular uh, thing to get moved, yeah, forward actually. Okay, and then actually if you see, we are going to enter into a how a IoT solution architecture should be actually. Okay, so yeah, if you see, yeah, if you see actually, in this yeah, IoT solution architecture, um, we have actually, one minute, I will show you the architecture first, and then we will come across these points actually. Yeah, this is the core subsystem of an the IoT architecture. Yeah, if you see in the store subsystem of IoT yeah, architecture actually, the first one comes the IoT devices actually. If you see, the IoT devices actually will be anything like your shop floor machines, your medical equipments, etc. Actually, okay, the devices which are connected in this architecture will be named as a things in this architecture actually. Okay, and then actually, if you see this if this once we come to know about my the IoT device from which we want to take the data, actually this IoT device has to be provisioned and need to send the data from my cloud to device also, and it should also need to send the device the data from my cloud to device to cloud also actually. So the relationship between this the Azure IoT Hub and IoT devices, yeah, should be a directional way. And if you see actually, the each IoT device or which needs to be connected to an IoT hub has to yeah, follow some device management, and we also have a service called device provisioning service in a yeah, Azure IoT. Through this actually, this IoT devices will be connected to this cloud gateway, and then actually, and they can also be authenticated via some symmetric keys format or by using a X509 certificates as well actually. Okay. If once my IoT device is positioned to my cloud gateway actually, and it sends a series of telemetry data to my cloud gateway, that is my Azure IoT hub actually, my device which comes to my this IoT hub will needs to be sent to some other services in Azure, uh, to get actually to get processed, and it has to be presented to the end user in a uh, uh, in the form of some visualization reports actually. So once I get the data from my once I get the data from an IoT device, and and after device provisioning and device management actually, it will reach my IoT hub. From IoT hub actually, we need to send the data to the storage account actually. See, if you see in young Azure actually, if you see, yeah, we have a cold path and hot path actually. If you see in this particular IoT architecture, we have two types of paths. Once my data comes in IoT app, it can be diverted to two types of paths called the cold path and the hot path actually. If you see in cold path, yeah, we have a storage account which comprises of blob and a tables, and then actually the flat files, etc actually. So usually my the data which is coming in the IoT hub will be redirected to the cold path, and the hot path services in the Azure, the in IoT architecture. The storage accounts actually, and especially the blobs will be considered as a cold path. Why they are telling it's a cold path means actually, once I get the data from my cloud gateway actually, yeah, that is yeah, Azure IoT hub, it can be routed to a storage account actually. Stored actually, if you see, yeah, so that if you see actually, this data which is collected in my blob can be utilized for yeah, further up um, processing later thought of the architecture, or for later thought of the project to perform some batch processing. So the data which we wants to perform the batch processing only will be stored in this the cold part area actually. Yeah, for that we are yeah, using the blob storage actually. And then if you see, actually, for streaming jobs actually, for example, I want to see the real time data in my dashboards actually. I actually no need to see any, yeah, historical data which is which comes from the cloud part means actually, for stream processing, we have several the uh, these services in Azure IoT Hub called Devon Tabs, and then and if you see actually, we have a Azure the data bricks actually to perform some PySpark to yeah, get this streaming data from the given tabs, and then we have stream analytics as well actually. So using these services we can redirect our telemetry data which comes from IoT devices to IoT hub to these services to check for this stream based data actually, which gives a real time data actually. Okay, as in and yeah, if you see actually the IoT itself will be based upon this time series like data actually. So most probably for seeing the real time data actually, uh, the cold part will be used for seeing the historical data, and for the hard part will be used to see the live data. But most probably in your UI reporting tools actually, the hard part plays a major role, yeah, so that the viewer can make the end user can make use of these IoT services to see the real-time data which comes from an IoT hub actually, to take some quick decisions or to know the status of my assets very quickly actually. Okay, once I get my data in my the cold part and hot path actually, it needs to be sent to some business integrations. Yeah, yeah, for example, the data which is coming from d1 tab has to be captured from my d1 tab using some data processing tools like Databricks or Azure HD Insight, by using some big data frameworks like Hadoop or PySpark actually. Okay, once that is done only actually, the data which which comes from this both cold part and hard part will be processed, and they can be sent to my um, database like Azure SQL Server Edge or Azure SQL Server or Cosmos DB or MongoDB, anything actually. Okay, and from there actually, from your database actually, whichever we have been used, then the data can be taken for UI and reporting to tools through some APIs or through some query based modeling. Yeah, for example, then if you consider a Power BI actually, we can create some data sets, and we can make use of these tables and the databases which we created to store this streaming uh, the messages and the message which comes from the toll part as a Dutch processing actually. Okay, so like that actually we have yeah, several reporting tools to visualize this data which comes from the cold part and the hard path. And then actually we can also make use of some web based portals the frameworks and the libraries like Angular and React to visualize my data, and to leverage this UI based frameworks. I need some DPA backend DPA should take the data from my database to this UI framework. So this is how my core subsystem of IoT architecture works actually, which is categorized as things, insights, and the actions actually. Okay, then actually if you see actually how the data flow is yeah, happening in my Azure IoT is actually that the data comes from my things, it goes to the insights and then to the actions actually. The things actually whichever I have been explained in my architecture only have was given a detailed format. If you see here, an IoT solution is all about the data which flows my things, and it processes to storage, routing, and analysis to get actions and displays. What is the storage here? Actually, it includes different locations for different needs. Actually, for example, blob can also be used, or we can use tables also, etc. And for routing, actually makes decision that on what data should go to which target and when actually, because from IoT hub actually we need to create an endpoint and route to know from where the data should, from IoT hub, from which service the data should be flown actually. Okay, these points I will be covering in my hands-on yeah sessions actually, so that yeah, you will be clear actually what is analysis and actions and displays as well actually. Okay, and then if you see this is what about the core subsystem of an IoT architecture, which includes IoT devices, IoT hubs, stream processing services, storage services, and business. integration services as well actually. Okay, and then if you see, we are coming to a point, the slide called which is slide which describes about in IoT hardware components actually. How a IoT device should be actually. It should be a I, IP enabled devices to track their IPs, and can also be a non IP enabled devices. And actually, if you see, we have a other edge-based devices in industries like industrial PC, etc. like that. And we have other IoT hardwares like LoRaWAN, and then actually a BLE 4.0, etc. like that actually, to get the data. So these are the IoT hardware components, yeah, which can be used widely in my in any IoT based projects actually. Okay, and then actually if you see, and if you see here actually, yeah, I got a query from Vishnu Dhanavat. I hope so actually. What level of coding knowledge is required to become a Azure IoT developer role? The coding is not a barrier for to become a Azure IoT actually, they developer actually, because if you see, Azure IoT services has some good SDKs which was written in Python, in Node.js, .NET as well. And then actually, yeah, nowadays actually the Golang also has been used actually. So the programming knowledge is not a barrier to become Azure IoT developer actually. Yeah, if you know some open source programming language like Node.js or Python, and even .NET Core actually, using the C sharp, it will be good to become a Azure IoT developer by leveraging the SDKs actually. Okay, and then actually if you see, uh, yeah, I hope so. Actually, I have answered Vishnu Dhanavat's question. Actually, I hope so. You might have got these things actually. Okay, and then actually, if you see, in our next thing, actually, we are going to see actually what kind of OS will be supported in my IoT devices. Actually, if you see Windows 10 IoT Core, Ubuntu Core, Riot, QNX, Android Automotive, etc. We have some wide range of the operating systems or available yeah, available which will support your IoT devices and in the IoT edge gateways as well actually. Okay, but if you see, Windows 10 IoT Core and Ubuntu Core are the two main softwares actually used to sorry, not the softwares, the operating systems, young nowadays has been widely used in my in many of the IoT edge systems on the IoT devices actually. Okay, and if you see, and, the question of Vishnu Dhanavat is answered here. What kind of programming language support it support? It supports C, C++, Java, C Sharp, Python, and even Node.js and Golangs are there actually nowadays actually. So as I told earlier, the programming language is not a barrier to start your journey with a young Azure IoT. So go ahead and put your hands dirty by doing some good stuffs by starting with Raspberry Pi or another thing, and then insert some sensors to send the data from your Raspberry Pi to Azure IoT app. You are using your favorite programming language SDKs actually, which is widely available in the Azure for IoT services actually. Okay, and then actually if you see, yeah, we have some software development kits called device SDKs, service SDKs, and device provisioning SDKs actually. Okay, then actually we are coming to main thought actually. The we can tell it is it's a yeah, heart of my um um, Azure IoT services, my Azure IoT Hub. Actually, what does this Azure IoT Hub does means actually, Azure IoT Hub will act as a gateway which allows your IoT devices to send the data to it. Once we get the data, your data has to reach IoT Hub first. Once we get your data in IoT Hub only, actually, it can move to other services in your Azure IoT ecosystem. Actually, okay, and it's a starting point. And these are the major features which is available in the your Azure IoT Hub: security, scalability, routing, service integration, device management, monitoring, and etc. Actually, these yeah, all these things actually we will be seeing in our yeah, hands-on session actually. Okay. Okay, yeah, hope so. Actually, you guys have your yeah, free Azure subscription here. uh, I hope so. Actually, you guys have your free Azure subscription. And then if you see, kindly take that uh, yeah, please go to your Azure uh, portal, portal.azure.com. 1 minute, I will take my personal one. Okay, portal.azure.com, and enter your email address there. Just a minute, I am taking my free account. Yeah, just a minute. Actually, I'm taking my free account actually. 1 minute. Okay, then I will show you actually. Yeah, how to create a, yeah, free account in Azure portal. Actually, then it will be fine. I hope so. Actually, 1 minute. I'm taking my. I hope so. My yeah, screen is visible to all now. Actually, okay. Then actually, yeah, now I will show you, yeah, how to create a Azure account with free credits actually. Yeah, so yeah, so that I hope so it will be good for the new beginners here actually. Yeah, so and then actually we will move on to our hands-on session actually. mm, we go here, portal.azure.com. I can create a new account, naming Azure Saravanan Devices at outlook.com. Okay, it's not there. Then I'm creating one password. This is fine. We can give anything based upon your location. And then actually, if you see, yeah, my portal got created actually. But actually, if you see my subscription, um, if you see here, I don't have any subscriptions, so I need to create one yeah, subscription, either a free or as a pay as you go actually. Okay, and if you see, you have some, you will get some $200 credits here for creating your subscription. Mm, okay, I will get my text. You can give any address ID actually, no problem. So 68 okay. My code got verified and I need to sign up, but it might ask for my card verification, credit card verification. Okay, like this actually we need to create a subscription actually. But if you see here actually, I am going to see you yeah, since we don't have a, physical device here actually, I have created one simulator actually to send the data to your what it will actually your IoT hub, and then actually this stimulator, if you see actually it's written in C sharp.net, but we can write the code actually in anything like Node.js, Java, or uh, Python to send a device based telemetries to your Azure IoT Hub. Actually, if you see actually in this code, I have been explained here how to send your data from device to cloud actually, and then actually if you see, I am just yeah, what to tell actually. I'm actually stimulating a temperature uh, uh, temperature based data actually. So if I start running this stimulator actually, yeah, you can see the data might be sent to your IoT hub by authenticating. If you see here actually, this area will be if you see contains one connection string actually. Which is an IoT Hub connection string. We will actually show you while creating a IoT Hub from yeah, where you need to take, and this is your device based connection string actually. Okay, so these two connection string will make your device authenticated with your IoT Hub actually. Okay, if you see here, I am creating a account. I am creating a resource group actually. If you see here, the test is it. Then once I create this, inside this resource group, I will show you how to create the IoT Hub. Okay, and then actually I creating a name for my IoT Hub. Is it test IoT Hub actually. Okay, and then the location can US, but actually if you see networking, you can choose public access or private access, which are recommended according to your client requirements or organization requirements actually. And then if you see the management actually, if you see pricing and scale tier actually, if you see we have various number of pricing and scaling here. For example, if I choose S1, I can see how many yeah, messages I can send per day from my IoT devices to my IoT app, and actually yeah, got made with the cost of it actually. Okay, and then actually what are the services enabled? Device to cloud message routing, cloud to device commands, IoT edge, and device managements are available actually. Okay, but if I change this tier to S2 actually, yeah, I might get some more extra yeah, messages can be sent to my IoT hub on daily basis from my IoT devices, but my cost might increase also actually. Okay, if you see IoT hub is it's a kind of platform as a service actually, where based upon your usage actually, the, the cost per month might increase or decrease actually. But choose your IoT hub wisely actually, yeah, so that actually your cost can be optimized, and you can be able to send some and you also won't lost any messages actually. So based upon the your IoT architecture for a particular project, and amount of data sending from uh, which how much number of devices can be used here to check yeah uh, that which tire has to be taken here actually. For our demo purpose, I'm taking a free tire which is already oh, it's actually the free tire is already filled in my subscription, so I'm taking a S1 tire actually. And then I'm going for tags. You can give a tag for anything, and then I'm reviewing and creating. Once I click create, my Azure IoT hub will be yeah created actually. Once it's dated actually, we will create a storage account and Devant up also actually, so that I can show you how to go to message from a stimulator to my storage account, and then actually to my Devant up in a, according to the cold part and hot part as well actually. Once this IoT hub is created, I also show you how I am creating a device, and from there I am taking those connection strings which I need to be given in my which I need to be given in my program as well actually. Okay, so in case actually if you don't have any um, uh, yeah, any yeah, 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 simulator yeah handy in your hand actually, yeah, there is a ready-madely available Raspberry Pi simulator is there actually, which is written in Node.js actually. Yeah, here also you can give your connection string and then actually a device ID to, and if you click run actually this telemetry message will start flowing into your IoT app. I am actually going to use this simulator only actually, yeah, so that we can see two different types of data which yeah, flows into your IoT hub actually. Okay, and then if you see yeah yeah, here our the IoT hub got created actually. If you see we have a overview in overview section you can see what is your host name of your IoT hub, and what is a TLS version of your IoT hub, and then how much units of IoT hub you have been created. We have created only one unit for this particular resource group actually. Okay, and then actually you can also see that under which resource group my IoT hub is placed actually. Okay, and then if you see here uh, I can I having a access control. I hope so the people who are very much fluent in Azure portal or Azure yeah, services, we can control for which person I need to give in access for a particular service. So that feature also available in my Azure IoT hub actually. Okay, and then I want device management. If you see device management, I have IoT devices, IoT edge, and then configuration, but we are going to concentrate on IoT devices here because IoT agent configurations I'll be covering up in my upcoming workshops, since it's require some more hands-on questions to get the to people to get and understand about this both features of IoT hub actually. So if I add a device and I need to get device ID which will be unique within your IoT hub, like here is a test device, and I'm choosing. We have three types of authentication: symmetric key X509 self9 and X509 CSA. But I am actually going to use a symmetric key one actually. But if you are going to use a device provisioning service, X509 self-signed or TSA must be handy. But actually now we are not going to use a DPS system. We will be going ahead with my symmetric key based access only actually. Okay, and then actually I am actually giving create, and if I refresh this page I can see my device got created. If I click my device, it contains my device ID, primary key, secondary key, primary connection string, secondary connection string, and whether I need to send the data to IoT or not, we can enable and disable here actually. Okay, and then if you see the device string, the device string is nothing but it tells when your device got created, and or yeah, what are the metadata present in your devices like that actually. Okay, if you see actually our device is not still now connected on any of the IoT edge based devices. Yeah, so it is mentioned as actually false here actually. And then if you see as I told in my yeah, stimulator, I need a connection string for my device ID actually. So I am taking a primary connection string of my device and I am giving it here. I have pasted my device and I want to, and I need to give my device ID as well here actually. If I start running this program, you can see the device has been yeah, successfully pending to my Azure IoT Hub actually. Okay, so if you see here, once I come to my IoT Hub and I can check this as well actually, that some flow of data might be coming actually. See, message used to five yeah, messages I have been sent here. Okay, as of now we seen that how a simulator is sending into a sending a data telemetry device to my IoT hub by creating a device, and how this device is authenticated with my young IoT hub and my this stimulated the telemetry data which is coming from my device actually. Okay, next we are going to see young how we can route this data to my event hub and the storage account, so that from there it can be routed to some other yeah, services actually. So for that purpose actually I am creating a storage account which has blob, and then actually I can give a storage account test is it storage. Networking as and all we it can give it as a default one actually, and then actually if you see I can give review and create actually here. So my storage account got created. Inside the storage account actually I need to create a container from so in that container only I need to give it in my routing query to pass my data from IoT hub to my storage account actually. Okay. Okay, my storage account got created, and I need to create a container actually to stream my messages to my yeah, cold path. So I giving AZ storage as container, and I giving a anonymous get access for container and blobs, and then create. Now my storage account is created, so I need to create a routing actually. The message has been being routed from my IoT hub to my what to tell actually our the storage account. Actually, if you see here, I need to create a custom endpoint first of all, because if you see the message from Azure IoT Hub can be routed to event hubs, service bus queue, service bus topic, and storage. These four from to these four services only we can route the data, and we can create a the custom endpoint as well actually. So for storage actually we are going to create a custom endpoint. Is a test endpoint is a name, and then actually I need to pick a container which I have created now actually. Is it storages, uh, and then actually inside that storage account I have a container actually here which we created. So I can send the data in both the Avro and JSON format. I'm choosing the JSON format actually. So once I get created actually my endpoint got will be get created actually. Okay, my endpoint got created, and I want to select the dot now so that my device, the telematic device from IoT hub will be flow into my storage account actually. Uh, Endpoint which I created now, data source actually we can give a device telemetry devices, and then routing query. It's a big topic actually. I'll be covering it up in when we covered in IoT side actually. As of now, it can be a true, and actually I'm giving the things as saving. Meanwhile, actually, we can create a given tab as well, because it will take some time for your IoT hub to stream the data to your storage account. Approximately, it will take 2 minutes time actually. Okay, and then if you see, we are creating a, yeah, here you want up namespace. Test underscore is it, and I'm giving test is it service bus. You can take used anything we can take, but I'm taking a used views and I'm going for a standard one. I'm review plus creating. So once this deployment is completed, we are creating a the event hub namespace. Inside the event hub namespace, I need to create a separate event hub with some default the throughputs and um, consumer group as well, actually. So that in event hub, the IoT hub actually can stream the data, which can be considered as the hard path. And in storage account, which I created actually from the IoT hub, we can stream the data for the cold path actually. Okay, and then actually once this setup is done, we can see the data in both the services actually, which we are streaming. Now actually I'm creating a event hub. Okay, and then actually give create. Here event hub will be created here, and then I need to duplicate the same steps which I done for my the noting of messages to my storage account. So I'm going to message routing in custom endpoint. I need to choose event hubs, and then actually I need to add a custom endpoint for event hub actually, and I need to choose a event hub namespace which I created, uh, and it will show my event hub in instance here. And then actually, if you see, I can create a event hub endpoint here, and next we need to create a noting for this event hub as well actually. So my endpoints are created, and I want to add a one more routing for my event hub actually, like event hub routing. Then I can choose the event hub one, and then here device telemetry data, and I save, and route will be created. So now after these routes are created for both the event hub and the storage account, we can now go and see how the data comes actually in actually both the places actually. Okay, so if I go here to my storage account which I created, inside that container, now I can see the data which needs to be flow here actually. To take some time to come, and in the event hub, if you see, you can see some data is coming here actually. So in event of, if you see actually, the streaming data comes in. This streaming data only will be captured by some Python based framework, or using PySpark, or Hadoop using Azure Databricks or Azure Insights to process the data and push it to the database as a live streaming data actually. So once we get the data from here, and it will be processed by some data processing jobs, and then it will be moved to a databases actually. Okay, and then actually if you see here, we got the event up. Now we are going to the storage account to check if you're getting the data or not actually. See, we got our data here in the form of JSON actually. If I open this, I can see my data in this JSON format, but your body might be encrypted in the form of this 64x. I will copy this, then yeah, encrypted part, and I will show you what data comes here to base, yeah, 64 decryptor actually. Okay, decoder. If I paste my body here, you can see the data which I sent here is message ID and device which I sent from my data. Okay, so in this workshop you've seen, you understand what is Azure IoT Hub, what are the features of Azure IoT, and what services we can leverage in the we can be used in Azure IoT architecture, and what is Azure IoT architecture. And then actually you also seen a hands-on session that yeah, how we need to stream the data from a telematic device to Azure IoT Hub by creating a device with some authentication method. And then from the IoT Hub, yeah, yeah, how I can load my, yeah, messages to storage account, and event hub, which are considered as a cold part and hard part respectively actually. From there actually data will be taken for the further processing to my data processing the jobs. Okay, I hope so. This session is we will be yeah, might have been interesting to the people who are the beginners and experts as well actually in the in Azure space. So actually I hope and we'll be coming up with more, yeah, sessions on Azure IoT Hub based sessions, and some sessions will be connected to AI and Azure IoT as well actually. So please stay tuned and keep on supporting us, and thank you, yeah, Reskill and Azure, yeah, developer community for providing me this gain opportunity actually. Thank you so much team. Thank you. Bye bye. Take care.